Welcome to Playfully Orange, our conversations about arts and culture here in Central Florida. My guest today is Hayley Black. Welcome, Hayley.
Hi, Terry.
Well, Hayley, I know quite a bit about you because I work with you, but let's find out a little bit more for the rest of us. You come from New Jersey, so does that mean you grew up going into New York City for the arts a lot?
Yes, it does. I grew up in a very small town right outside of New York City called Glen Rock, New Jersey. It's very, very tiny. So definitely small town, New York suburbia. But yeah, we would go into the city pretty frequently. It was really easy. You just hop on the train or hop on the bus or even drive, and it's 30 minutes and you're there. And yeah, we would go see shows pretty frequently. That was mostly what we would do. So it
So
was great.
Broadway uh, musicals, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Broadway musicals. Yeah. And my parents started taking me when I was very early or very young. I think I
What's
was
the
like
first thing you
4.
remember?
Peter Pan. My parents took me to see Peter Pan when I was like 4 years old. And I don't remember a lot about it, but I remember Peter Pan flying over the audience and sprinkling her pixie dust and all that kind of stuff. So it was definitely gave me the bug at a young age.
Well, your role with Orange County Arts and Cultural Affairs is administrative, but you are also a performer. Did
Yeah,
you come to Florida to be a performer?
I did. I came to Florida to perform at Disney, which I loved. I did that for about 3 years. So that's what brought me here. And then I just kind of stayed. So,
And are you doing any performing now?
yes, I sing with the Central Florida Community Arts Community Choir. It's a lot of fun. I love it. What I love the most is that I've participated in very intense choirs before in my life, in high school and college and all that. And it's just fun. It's a good time. I go on Monday nights and I sing, and then I go home and I get to meet people, and it's great. It's perfect.
And have you gotten out to see shows here in Central Florida?
Yes, I have. I have. Not as much as I would like to, I think, but I get around.
What has there been anything that stood out to you?
Well, yeah. Well, during the pandemic, I think that was, obviously a very interesting time. But we went to go see A Midsummer Night's Dream at the amphitheater um, that Orlando Shakes did. And I thought it was really good. It was really well done. I hadn't seen anything over at the amphitheater before, not like to that kind of a scale. I know, they used to use it a lot, but I hadn't seen anything over there. So I thought it was used really well and done well during the pandemic. So yeah.
When you first arrived here, were you totally consumed in the Disney World, or did you get a chance to say, what is this Orlando thing?
I was definitely consumed in the Disney World for a while. I came here for the college program. And so my first year, so I was doing that. And, working hourly at Disney can be hard because they can change your schedule so easily. And I was working, I don't know, 60 hours a week a lot of the time, so um, it was hard to break out from the bubble. I would say I tried to every now and then, but it was hard. So I was glad when I got this job that I would be able to really, get more involved in what's going on in Orlando rather than just at Disney. And it was great to see, that there's so much happening here, and it's been a lot of fun exploring.
What, going back into your childhood, when did you decide you wanted to be a performer, and how did that journey take place?
Yeah, good question. I think I kind of always had it inside of me. I mean, so my mom was a music teacher before she retired. So I always had music in my life. There was always music playing in the house. My parents met doing community theater. So, it was just always kind of a part of me and a part of my growing up. Um, So I think I kind of always knew, but I think when I was in middle school for my 13th birthday, my parents took me to see Wicked. And that was a pretty big moment. I was like, oh, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of, that kind of a theater world. And that's kind of when I said, okay, that's what I want to do, which is not what I really do now, but I'm still involved in the arts. So it's still kind of on that track.
So that journey, how did that journey end up at Disney?
Oh, I've always loved Disney. I've always loved Disney. And when I was in college, I went to Elon University in North Carolina. And when I was in college, they had like a college fair thing, that colleges do all the time. And there were Disney people there, and it was not something that I had ever really thought about. I was always thinking, oh, after college, I'll go back to New Jersey, probably live with my parents for a little bit and work in the city and, do the New York City thing. And then there were people from Disney who were at the fair, and I was like, wow, I could work at Disney. I could, do that. I love Disney. So yeah, I've always loved Disney. So it kind of made sense.
Great. Well, is there, before you arrived here, or in general in your life, are there some arts moments that really stand out, that really affected you? You mentioned um, um, the one show that you just mentioned that my brain,
Wicked, yes.
Wicked, yes, wicked brain right there. Um, anything else after that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Anytime I would go into the city, I think kind of had a big impression on me. But also when I was studying abroad, I studied abroad in Florence when I was in college and had a lot of really cool musical experiences there. I mean, the moment that I arrived there, I walked up to my new room that I was going to be living in. I opened up the windows and could hear a flute playing just in the streets, and made me really feel at home. But one of the coolest things that I experienced when I was abroad was when I was in, where was it now? I don't remember where it was. Brussels, I think. I think it was Brussels. But anyway, we went to this really old church, and it was a church that Mozart had played in. I mean, when he was alive, and just listening to the music there and in the place where he performed was really just moving for me. And I think it was more than I had expected it to be. But it was just very, very beautiful and very moving. I love classical music just as much as I love musical theater. So that was a really cool moment.
It's interesting that you equate Florence to music, because we mostly think of Florence for visual art. In fact, did you go see Michelangelo's David there?
I did. And that was incredible. It was absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I mean, all of the visual art in Florence is stunning. Yeah, and the David is definitely one of those pieces that's just amazing. Mm-hmm.
Just don't show it to kids in school. Well, is there something that Central Florida should have that they don't?
It's a good question. I think Central Florida has a lot to offer in the arts world. I think what is missing, or might be the biggest issue, I think, would be, access to be able to get to the theatrical or musical or visual art offerings. I think it's hard in Central Florida to, it's the transportation problem that we have here. People who live far away from the hubs of, downtown Orlando and, anywhere down here, Winter Park, if you're far away from there, it's hard to get there. And I think that is a barrier for a lot of people.
Interesting. Great. Well, Hayley, we are glad that you were here, glad that you have a performer's heart, but you have an administrator's head. Thank you for all you do to keep Orange County Arts and Cultural Fairs alive.
Yeah, happy to help.
And thank you for watching this issue of Playfully Orange.